Welcome to the Altcoin Hour, your weekly alpha. Yeah, we breaking down the charts, flipping bags, playing smart, from the dips to the moon shots, connecting all the dots. Let's get it. Altcoin now.
All right. We got a lot to talk about today. And we got a lot going on too. Welcome to the show. Hand clap to you once again. There's a lot. I think it's so much. It's so much, man. From the Epstein ties, not only to Bitcoin, Coinbase, and we're going to get into it because it's really not, something that we should be concerned about. This is some early investments, but it's raising some flags for a lot of people. You have the Epstein situation, that connection with Bitcoin as well. Maybe some back doors that were built in for this, for his estate dwellers. I know there's some people that are still existing, within the estate that may have control of a lot, right? We may get into that because that's a rabbit hole. And I think it's much to do about nothing, but the Coinbase thing is very interesting because it's rattled a lot of people. The Bitcoin thing, the Epstein connection, it has rattled a lot of people. So we'll get into that. Nevada, we got to get into the Nevada situation. Now, as you already know, PolyMarkets, it's moving into New York. The state of New York has accepted it as well, which is good. Hand clap for that. It's a good deal. I'm not saying that's a bad deal, but you have to understand there's a thin line that these prediction markets are actually, walking, essentially. The Nevada case, the Nevada temporary restraining order that was placed on PolyMarket, which we're going to get into here in a bit. This is going to set another precedent. You had some of these type of ongoings in Connecticut as well. This one is a bit different because it's challenging the actual regulatory values of the government, state government, what they can and cannot do when it comes to these markets, because it's gambling. It's unwagered gambling. I don't even think there's any KYC going on. So the state of Nevada is stepping in, and this is going to set a precedent. And again, we're going to get into some leading news as well in altcoin market, things of that nature. We're going to look at Bitcoin too, because it is very, very shaky at this point in time. So welcome to the show, LMFG. I see you back there, brother. The link is up top, brother, whenever you get ready. Let's go ahead and get into it because there's a lot to get into today. There's a lot of breaking news, and there's some things that are developing when it comes to World Liberty Finance too as well. The collateralization of USD1, where that money come from, and where there are trades and where there are deals made to get that, USD1 stablecoin going. A lot of people in Congress are like, wait a minute, was the UAE, was the United Arab, situation, the royal family, did they get kickbacks? There's some interesting news that's dropping about that as well, but let's go ahead and get into it. There's a lot, guys. Let's go. Now, we got to start with the Bitcoin, and we'll get into what's going on with Bitcoin as well, because there's I got to cut this music down too. There's geopolitics. Let's get right to the gusto. There's geopolitics, right? There's inflationary fears as well. You do have, and let me go ahead and get Bitcoin up, because this is what we're talking about, $75,000. I told you it was a dead cat bounce. If you did look at a couple of previous videos that I have been posted, that bounce that almost took us back up to 80K, it was a dead cat bounce because we're going back down, guys. Now, you got Peter Brand coming out saying we may get as close to 68,000 pretty quickly going in through this week. I don't think we're going to get to 68,000, but you have MicroStrategies that they're in the red. So do they sell? Absolutely not. Michael Saylor actually bought more Bitcoin over the weekend and during the earlier part of this week as well, yesterday. He's still buying Bitcoin, and I think that is absolutely irresponsible. Just my take. If I'm a MicroStrategies investor, I'm kind of scared right now. I'm shaking in my boots, not looking very good. Peter Brand saying he's basically saying the floor is going to be $58,000. I'm looking at this chart, and as we back up all the way into January, doesn't look good. It does not. A lot of sell pressure now. Geopolitics are playing a very, very big part. We're going to get into an article too as well, because you had $1.5 billion worth of liquidations as well. And just to actually look at that in its whole within the 24 hours, $344 million additional liquidations, with the biggest one coming off of Hyperliquid. It's going to be $3.87 million as a hype USD pair, essentially. So, and you can see on the bottom of the screen, lots of red when it comes to the market, lots of decent red activity going on. Liquidations well over $1 billion. This is what's happening. So what do we do? Where does Bitcoin go, essentially? Well, geopolitics, that has to improve. Now, we're not going to see war. I don't think we're going to see any forms of war activity when it comes to Iran. We got a lot of military armament. We got a lot of actual hardware off the coastline. But there are some actual deals that was made when it comes to oil, and had a lot to do with Venezuela as well. I don't think we're going to see a war. Now, that's not all that's going on. You have other geopolitics under the fold. Now, Israel may push the war narrative, but I don't think it's going to happen, right? So that's good in its own right. But when it comes to other factors like, I'm talking intercontinental factors, U.S. factors when it comes to debt, ongoing debt crisis, these institutions are pushed into Bitcoin. They're borrowing money to buy Bitcoin. Don't think for a minute that they're spending their own money. A lot of this money that's coming from the institutions that are flowing through these funds, that's borrowed money, right? So how solid is that, guys? Just think about that. All the borrowed money that is going into Bitcoin, that's pumping Bitcoin up. How solid is that? Now, as far as retail is out of there. In fact, they're priced out. Retail is completely priced out of Bitcoin at this point. So you're talking about big time investors that are hedging, funds that are moving money into institutional flow, Michael Saylor, things of that nature. This is what we have here holding this floor. He cannot do this for very long. All right. So you have inflationary fears. You have liquidations across the board. The leverage is crazy right now. A lot of sell pressure when it comes to Bitcoin. It's 58,000. If we get there, MicroStrategies is done. They're going to be selling, right? A lot of people are going to sell upon that fear. So we're crossing over to $74,000 pretty quick. So we'll get back to this, but I want to take a little peek into the liquidated factors of it, because the leverage is crazy. And this right here, I think just adds, more fuel to the fire now. $1.5 billion worth of liquidated actual Bitcoin, guys. This is particularly what's dropping Bitcoin, 13% down. And I'm talking market liquidity. That's down as well. And we already have a liquidity crisis. That's a big deal. It's been that way for the last 5 years. It's just getting worse. Now, this is part of the pullback. Now, let's get into this article. Bitcoin extends its sharp weekly decline after more than $1.5 billion in leveraged long positions were actually liquidated, triggering a massive liquidation or liquidity squeeze. Now, let's talk about this liquidity squeeze, because it's actually a legitimate discussion. This is across the board, not only in crypto, but you have liquidity crisis going on across financial markets as well, with all the borrowed money not being paid back. So the debt situation is absolutely real. We have LMFG2 in the back. Welcome to the show, brother. Welcome to the show.
What's happening, man? What's not happening? It's a shorter list.
We got so much to talk about, bro. And I wanted to lead with Bitcoin because everybody's like, why is it shedding so much money? Well, leverage is crazy right now. Geopolitics, right? Institutional inflow and outflow. As soon as BlackRock, and by the way, BlackRock is moving a lot of Bitcoin and Ethereum to Coinbase right now, to other exchanges. It almost looks like a low-key liquidation event. We may go into Arkham and look at some of these transactions. But it's crazy how much Bitcoin is going out the door at this point in time. Ethereum as well got really close to $1,900. We'll get into the price points here in a little bit, but let's conclude here with this. Let's go ahead and get through this article here. Now, we're talking about the 13% liquidity increase right here. This dragged institutional flows down profusely, guys. Now, this is just with leverage, essentially. And this is the market participation that we have. A large percentage of it is a leverage reactions here. Now, Bitcoin extended its sharp sell-off this week as well, falling more than 13% over the last 7 days. Big time reduction. You saw that in the chart recently. Now, ETF outflows added to this as well. Declining leverage drains. We're talking about the $1.5 billion in leverage, and 344 million was added to that. We're getting really close to $2 billion worth of leverage activity. Longs that were decimated, guys. This is LMFG. This is getting crazy. I don't know. You know, a lot of people are like, we may need some regulation or more stiff regulation. What's your take on the leverage? Because this is adding jet fuel to a bonfire that's already, you know, burning out of control.
Right, and we've been saying and talking about it for it's such a gamble because how volatile it is. I don't, and it's in the millions. I think we hit billions here. It's crazy.
Almost 2 billion, bro. It's ridiculous.
And they just turn around and now they're going to put longs in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it's nuts. So they'll put shorts in. I'm sure. I'm sorry.
Yeah, definitely going short.
Flipping it back and forth. I just don't get it. And I guess it's got to be advantageous, but these guys are doing this at, you know, millions of dollars at a clip. You know, so it's going back and forth. They're just peeling off the top. And the retail it's killing the retail. Like you said, they're just jumping the ship. And now I see all the stuff. Oh, Bitcoin and Epstein. I'm selling all my Bitcoin. It's crazy.
No, it is. You know, there's some retail involved with this leverage trading too as well. But it's, you know, I see the minute, you know, plays, you know, which they're decimated immediately. But, you know, it's out of control. And a lot of people are partaking in this. They're probably listening, or they're going to listen to this and they're going to be like, you know, who cares what he said? You know, we're going to do it. We're going to gamble. I get it, man. I get it, because the casinos are still casinoing. You know, people are still going to the casino, losing all their life savings. So this is the same thing, just different. You know, it's digitized gambling essentially, and it's very easy to get into. And I get it. I'm not hating it. I'm just saying, Jesus, it's out of control. $2 billion. You know, this is what we're getting to here. Let's continue. At the center of the decline, this is what we're talking about, was a cascading of long liquidations. This is between the 29th day of January 31st, and this is a short interval, guys, 1.5 billion. Just let that sink in. This is the largest single liquidation, or within a 24-hour period, since November 2025. So we're setting records here when it comes to BTC liquidation. You know, this chart is crazy. Absolutely mind-boggling. Now, the pressures on Bitcoin, this is what the article is saying, intensified as institutional capital, we're talking institutional money, borrowed money essentially, has retreated from regulated crypto exposure. Spot Bitcoin exchange trade funds recorded net outflows of approximately $500 million, guys. And this was in January alone. This was actually on the last day of January. This record was actually recorded. Now, this is signaling a shift towards risk reduction, risk off, among asset managers across allocators. Now, this is, you know, we're talking asset managers, fund managers. This is why you see BlackRock profusely moving in the other direction. Okay, let's go ahead and get back into the chart, because we're going down. LMFG, we're going down. And, you know, just, you know, if you take what I just said and what we went through with that article, and my little take on this, 74,000, we're going down, right? Or we're going to hit 70K. LMFG, what's your take on this before we move on?
Yeah, and like you said, what you call it, MicroStrategies, right? Strategy. They got 700,000 of these Bitcoin guys, and this thing goes much lower. They start double. We just could see 60 grand here.
Yeah.
If they pull that trigger. You got to realize, BlackRock's doing it. BlackRock has, 400,000 of them or something. I'm not positive of the numbers. And I mean, I could be off 100 grand, but
I don't think they have as much as Michael Saylor, but they're pretty close. Yeah.
He's the big holder. So what happens? He drops 200,000 of them.
I think
60 grand.
Yeah, man. MicroStrategy is pushing almost $1 billion worth of unrealized losses right now. LMFG, what you say about that, bro?
How low do they go before they pull the trigger? That's what I say. I don't know. You know, it's anybody's guess, I guess.
Well, they just bought Bitcoin just 2 days in a row. Is he mad? I think he's in so deep right now. It's like, you know what? You know, who cares? Yeah, you know, it's a wrap anyway. Because if this thing hits 58,000, as Peter Brand, this is his, you know, he's pretty good. This Brand guy on his predictions, 58,000. MicroStrategy is toast. They're barbecue chicken, baby. Overdone. It's a wrap. So but yet he keeps buying. So it's a very interesting storyline here. Very interesting storyline. $75,000. I think we're going down to 70K, brother. I don't see anything. I see a lot of sell pressure, but I digress from that. RSI score is 39, so we're oversold. The market is completely oversold at this point in time. So this is what we're seeing. Altcoin season, forget about it. Forget about it. You got a lot of people talking this on X, you know, bull market. You got this dude with this, apparently he's got the world's highest IQ. It's laughable. His predictions are absolutely, you know, off track 100% of the time. He's saying the redirection that started, he's calling a bull, you know, run this week, all this shit. LMFG is crazy. X is crazy. People just posting things for likes and, you know, and to placate people, essentially, to give them what they want to hear, essentially. This is what I see on X right now, along with a lot of botted accounts as well that have fake engagement. LMFG, you can't trust anything that you see right now. You have to do the research. You got to go into these numbers. You have to do your own calculations. And once you do this, if you know how to do this, you already know we are in the shitter, my friend. What you take, brother?
Yeah, looking ugly. A bunch of people like, hey, I've seen that fear, because I always tell them the fear and greed. I said, it's way down there. And I says, yeah, but this could be a dead cat bounce. Be careful. Because you're just talking $5,000. It went up and down in what? Not even 24 hours.
Not
right?
even 24 hours, yeah. Classic dead cat bounce, LMFG.
Yep. And so maybe this weekend, DCA time.
Yeah. Well, you know, and dude, I got to get into this. We got to get into what Vitalik said about L2s. This really rocked me. I didn't think that we were going to hear this from him. You know, he's a big L2. You know, Ethereum Foundation has been huge on L2s. We got to get into that post too, because that rocked a lot of the developers that are actually knee deep into these L2s. And I'm worried about Linea. I'm really worried about Linea. How do you say Linea? I'm worried about that right now because it is an L2.
Even with the MetaMask behind Linea.
Yeah, maybe that one survives, you know, because, you know, and it has a Swift backing too as well, you know, heavily endorsed by Swift. So, you know, maybe that one survives. Maybe that is the lone survivor. I hope so. We'll get into that because it was a pretty good post and he basically condemned L2s. And I'm like, what a 360. That was one hell of a 360 that the foundation is doing. Maybe it's just Vitalik. I don't know. Maybe the foundation is like, what are you doing? We put so much money into this. What the hell are you doing? We shall see. Now, let's go ahead and get into the countdown. We'll get into the Nevada situation. We're going to get on into the PolyMarket. By the way, crypto.com just launched a massive prediction market. Shall we say a dominant prediction market conglomerate? I mean, they got everything that you need. They just launched in one compartment. Oh shit, I can't even talk right now. The coffee is so running through my veins, so tough. Compartmentalized structure is what I'm trying to say here. We'll get to that here in a little bit. And as well, we got to get to the Epstein situation with the Coinbase, LMFG. That's crazy. Massive investment into Coinbase, and apparently Bitcoin, not only money, but coding as well, kind of had a lot of say in the coding, you know, in the back end of Bitcoin. We'll get into that possibly. By the way, let's get into these prices because the altcoins are bleeding. LMFG, can you see the blood? Is it enough blood for you? I know Warren says buying the blood, but I think you have to be cautious right now because I don't think these are bottoms. Yeah, BNB $750 down across the board. XRP, I think we had a Barstool CEO bought I think $1 million worth of XRP over the past 4 days. He's down on his investment across the board. 17% down for XRP within the last 7 days. A lot of people are like, what the hell's going on? Solana under $100 LMFG. The actual L1, the actual original bill. All right. SVM across the board. We're talking almost 21% down within the last 7 days, guys. $99 for Solana. Are you buying Solana in a LMFG? Is this a good time to buy Solana? You know, I don't know.
I say don't buy anything right now. And wait till you see once they find that, you know, whenever they vote on this Clarity Act and it gets knocked down, what's that going to do also?
Yeah.
And more retail exodus. It's just retail mass exodus right now.
Yeah, retail's out of there. They're pretty much priced out of the top 5.
Yeah, and now with the big boys, like you said, they're all moving their stuff over to the central exchanges. Watch what happens.
Yeah, man, this is a bloodbath. Yeah,
Just hold right now and be prepared. Get some dry powder.
Yeah, you're gonna need a lot of that, brother. Tron 28 cents. Justin Sun and his ex, man. His ex. Did you see the post that's going on with Justin Sun's ex lover? I mean, she's going scorched earth on it, man. She's saying some very, very interesting things about him and CZ, which I don't think that's gonna surprise anybody. You know, CZ's getting drug across, the internet right now. But then you have Justin Sun, his ex, are saying some very, very interesting things about his ongoing situation and how he has ran the Tron industry, the Tron ecosystem, the Tron. Essentially, he is the CEO. She said some very interesting things, and she's been posting. She's quiet now, but you might ought to check that out, brother. I'm seeing some links on that. That's nuts. But Dogecoin, I think we had some reoccurrences of Dogecoin and Elon sending it to the moon again. Did you see that? They want to put Dogecoin on the moon and on the Mars. That talk is happening again. It is down almost 15% across the board at 10 cents. It's going to get back to 9 cents, I believe. What's your take? Because a lot of people are really pissed off at Elon about Doge. And I don't know why, bro. I don't blame him for, maybe this was what he was talking about the entire time when he said, Doge going to the moon. He meant literally, let's put it on the moon. Not, moon the charts. Was he misunderstood?
I don't know. He's clown there, I think. And who knows with him? You never know with him. All of a sudden, it's a payment option on X. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's got the license in all 50 states. So we'll see. Money transfer license.
He's not really doing anything. It's like, what happened to he hasn't deployed it fully. I know that it's in the back end, but it hasn't been deployed. So
I bet he's waiting on the Clarity Act.
Yeah.
Not until then.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's smart. I think a lot of people are waiting on that.
How smart he is, He's like, hey, you never know. It might be so bad that he'll just say, screw it, drop it, and stay away.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's the way to go because there is no clarity. There's absolutely no clarity at this point in time, and I don't think we're going to get any clarity. And Trump is on the record today saying that he's going to, he's getting prepared to be impeached 2027. This is what Trump is saying. Yeah, and this is what he's posting, right? That's very bearish, ladies and gentlemen. That is very bearish to hear this coming out. This is like the third time I've seen him post something like this. So if he's not confident in midterms, if he's not confident about his solidified, if he's not, actually pushing a solidified future, what are we really doing? What are we really doing? Or why we shouldn't be hyped up about this, because if he is impeached, if the midterms go horribly wrong, all of this is going to be actually deconstructed. Everything up until this point will be deconstructed, dismantled. Do you agree, brother? I mean, I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not too, man. It'll be ugly. That's for sure.
All of this headwind. And then, they're going to go after his doings, his meme coins and the World Liberty Finance. They're already going after that as well. We'll get into that in a little bit. But let's go ahead and finish the countdown because we got to get to the Epstein connection with Coinbase. It's very interesting. Hyperliquid trying to reclaim $35. It is the only one that's actually up along with Canton. These two. Shining stars, the only green. Now, we're not going to bring in the Tether and the USDC. They're stable coins. They should remain green. It's not good when they go red or they depeg. So, but what's going on, Reddit? Welcome to the show, brother. What's going on, brother? Canton, 12% up, Hyperliquid Canton, shining stars here. LMFG, this is, as I scroll down, bloodbath. Absolute bloodbath. We're talking about some really, really good coins and platforms and projects and ecosystems. Really nice L1s, things of that nature. Perp exchanges, DeFi, bloodbath, but there are some good opportunities. But I'm with you on this. I wouldn't necessarily be diving into this bloody river at this point in time because we're not looking at bottoms. And that should scare the hell out of everybody. We're not looking at bottoms, right? We're looking at the beginnings of a very, very steep, stiff dive downwards for a lot of these alts. And a lot of them aren't going to be able to come back from this because there is a pretty decent liquidity crisis that we already have. So a lot of these liquidity pools are going to be decimated. And I don't think they're going to be able to come back unless they have legitimacy, unless they have ecosystems that are going to be very influential going forward, applicable, something that the real world can actually attach to, not just memes. Because a lot of people are, we'll get to Solana here. I'm going to pull this up when I say this. A lot of people were really celebrating the milestone of transactions within a 24-hour period that this chain reached. But we all know, I looked at this because everybody was questioning my statement on this. I actually looked at the data. Over 75% of this is memes. That's not real world activity. When you go into the real world, you talk to people about Solana. They don't even know what the hell it is. They don't use Solana to buy things in the stores. This coin is heavily traded within the space. That's it. And our space is very small. So, kudos, hand clap to the milestone. I don't want to throw shade. LMFG, I don't want to come off wrong. I don't want to throw shade. Kudos to the milestone. But we must be real about this. This chain has not been implanted into the real world like it should. We have tokenized stocks, we have RWAs, but a lot of this is small time, small change, small level, low bandwidth type of trading. I want to see this thing across the globe being used in retail outlets. I want to see how it folds there. Can it keep up with Visa? Can it keep up with MasterCard? Can it keep up with Capital One? Right? I want to see it run parallel to those massive infrastructures that have existed for 2 decades and beyond. Then let's see those reports then. Let's see if it's still stable then. Then we can crown this, right? I mean, am I being too harsh?
No, not at all. I mean, the biggest thing is all the crashes. The history's still there, And so I think any institutions, there are some using it today, but I bet it's on a test basis. They're not putting tons of traffic on it. They're just playing with it. And it is what it is, man.
Right.
They've been doing good now for what, 1.5, 2 years now? Right, and then
pretty much. Yeah,
I'm not sure with Fire Dancer. I know they had a couple other improvements.
They had the node improvement. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah,
right now, I'm telling you, this is gonna. I think we're gonna, like I said, definitely sub 70, and I think we're
absolutely,
gonna too. And now they're saying, oh, the numbers are delayed, so we won't get numbers Friday because of the 2-day shutdown over the weekend.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Make this shit up.
You can't. They've lost control. But I digress from this, because a lot of people get pissed off when I really talk about Solana. I'm not a yes guy. I give it to you straight. I'm not gonna lie to you just for likes and subscriptions and things of that nature. I'm not gonna lie. I got to give it to you raw and real. I need to see more. I'm not really impressed by this because I know a lot of it is memes. There's no real world, attachment to these transactions. It's all within the space. Because again, when I talk about, when I ask people about Solana, real people, real bankers, real people in the real, they don't even know what the hell it is. And that matters. Real people need to know what this tech is before it can really explode, LMFG. And I think we're going to get that once we get the language. Banks will be able to adopt a lot of this technology. If they get up off their ass and stop, being so upset about yield and embrace the tech, then you get that broader, exposure. And then you get then we can test the bandwidths of all these networks. Then we can really see what these chains can do.
The banks need a new business model. It's that simple. And I would have to think that at least the big boys are doing it. And you may even see, that's where I think you're going to see a lot of the small regionals just get bought up by the big boys.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Just walk away.
Yeah. They're only going to buy the best of the best. They're only going to buy the stable, chains, the chains that are very, very quick, that they have proven track record, with stability, and it can handle RWAs, and they have to have a robust privacy factor too as well. Privacy is a big thing when it comes to RWAs and tokenized assets. They have to exist. They have to coexist within the ecosystem. So $98, Solana is going down. It's not just Solana, guys. The whole market, bloody red. Let's go ahead and get into this Epstein situation. Very interesting. Now, this is something that's pretty much rocked a lot of the space now. You can say what you want to say about Epstein. LMFG, I know you have your situations, right? I know a lot of people don't like him. There's a lot of data, there's a lot of things in those files, and there's a lot of other prominent people that are attached to those files. I'll give you my opinion. I don't know what the hell's going on. I didn't see any of these crimes committed with my own eyeballs. I'm seeing video, and I'm seeing, files that are generated. Some are redacted, some are not. I don't know what the hell is going on. I just know what I see. But I'm still neutral because to me, I don't have the evidence to sway either way. So I'm neutral. So I tend to digest what I'm seeing on a analytical basis, not pictorial. So I'm going into this files. O'Bannon, O'Bannon, right? LMFG. He has 15 hours worth of recordings. And this was a 2008 recording, 15 hours with Epstein. This was before Epstein was actually, committed. I think this was before the 2008 situation. Welcome to the show, guys. This is prior to the 2019 arrest. He actually let the cat out the bag because I guess he probably knew the gig was up. LMFG. You have to listen to it's an hour and a half video from these 15 hours of recordings. Crazy work, bro. He let the cat out the bag, I guess, because he knew his demise was coming. It was coming near. Now, let's get into the Coinbase situation because here's a headline. Epstein was an early Coinbase investor. Crypto-related bombshell was found in the latest Epstein files released. And the timeline is absolutely messy. Now, before we get into this is crazy. What's your take so far? The files, the O'Bannon 15 hours. And by the way, O'Bannon says he doesn't even own the rights. All of the 15 hours of recorded interview is actually owned by Epstein's estate. So I'm thinking that's why this first hour and a half was released. It's being released and trickled to the public via the estate. What's your take, bro, before we get into this?
Yeah, to me, it shouldn't have no bearing on what Bitcoin or anything is doing. I don't know. I didn't hear this recording or anything. I don't know exactly what it's about. But
it's nasty and very revealing and very educational too.
Well, think about it. There's friggin' terrorists and all kinds of people that bought into Coinbase and bought into Bitcoin. And
it was a lot. Yeah.
So just get rid of it all. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Does Maduro have?
No, you're right, man. Listen, man. Look, we can say the same about Binance, right? The early investors of Binance, we can say the same thing.
We go on and on. It's like, well, it is what it is. It's the technology that's the future of all voice data communication, period. Yeah. It's the next version of the web.
Let's get into this. This is very interesting. I want to play an excerpt of that video, but excuse me. I don't know if it's protected. I don't want to get a strike or anything. But I will be dropping some on Altcoin Media X. I'm going to be dropping some clips, and they're pretty. I love what you have to kind of like just absorb the knowledge that he's dropping. He was dropping so many gems about fractionalization, the fractional reserve, practices of banking, how a lot of the world leaders really don't understand the way banks work and money. Essentially, that's why everything is going to shit. It was almost like watching a demon explain how hell works, essentially. That's what it was like. It was crazy. But let's get into this. The Epstein files have dropped a lot of nuggets. Now, buried within a 3 million documentation. It was 3 million documents. Crazy work here. Was crypto-related bombshell when it comes to Epstein's involvement with Coinbase, early days. Now, newly released emails from the Department of Justice reveal that by the way, Pam Bondi, is that her name, brother? Pam Bondi, right? She's a leader, right? Do I have that right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, she's under fire, bro. I've seen some reports that Trump may fire her over this release. But yet he was calling for it. I don't know. It's crazy. She's under a flame right now. She may be fired. I don't know. Let's continue. Justice revealed that convicted offender. I'm just going to say offender. You know what he was convicted of. I'm not going to say that word because YouTube doesn't like that. Jeffrey Epstein made $3 million investment into Coinbase. This was in 2014, guys. The deal was arranged by Tether co-founder Brock Pierce and his firm Blockchain Capital. The valuation was $400 million at the time. Today, Coinbase is worth $51 billion. So it was a hell of an investment. It was a hell of an investment. Now, Coinbase co-founder, Fred Earsham, I think it is, appears to have been aware of who was behind the investment as well. In an email dated December 3rd, 2014, Earsham wrote asking to meet with Epstein in the New York premises. Now, here's a quote from the email. I have a gap between noon and 3 p.m. today. But again, not crucial for me. But it would be nice to meet the Epstein, if convenient, unquote. This is so he's very interested in meeting Epstein prior to the investment. Now, and by the way, we're talking about, what was it, $3 million investment, which is a damn good investment at the time. Now, let's continue. Coinbase's wire details were immediately shared after Blockchain Capital confirmed the investment could proceed, ultimately reaching Epstein's executive assistant, Darren Indyke. Now, the investment came more than 6 years after Epstein's 2008 conviction for procuring you-know-what. Now, Epstein cashed out half of his stake in 2018. This was prior to his conviction, him being incarcerated. Now, this was nearly $15 million cash out, right? Can you imagine if he would have held this a little bit longer? Crazy money. Now, from an initial $1.5 million allocation. Now, as it appears, this was retained. No, I'm sorry. Let me get this now. And appears to have retained, the other half until his untimely demise in 2019. A lot of people don't believe that he's actually passed away, LMFG. I'm kind of leaning towards that way after I looked at these excerpts in this 1 hour and a half that was released from this 15-hour interview. I kind of, listen, he may just be in hiding because he let the cat out the bag. Let me tell you. Now, let's get into it. This is what they're saying now. Neither Coinbase, Earsham, or Brock Pierce, nor Blockchain Capital have publicly committed or commented on the revelations that we're just talking about here. Reid Hoffman, LinkedIn's founder, chimed in as well. He was also looped into the Epstein crypto interest as well. When Epstein asked Hoffman, the actual founder and CEO of LinkedIn, quote, how hard to go on the Coinbase round, unquote. So basically Epstein is asking the CEO, the founder of LinkedIn, how hard should I go in this Coinbase investment? How much should I buy? This is what he was asking Hoffman. Hoffman actually replied, listen to this, LMFG, you got to hear this. The Reid Hoffman, LinkedIn founder, said I probably wouldn't play at all. So he basically said, no, don't invest in Coinbase. This is what his reply was to Epstein at the time. Obviously, Epstein invested in Coinbase. Right. Now, here's an opinion-based statement here. And we'll get into a lot of the things that stand out here. Now, this is the actual consensus of all this now. Let's be clear about what this is and what it isn't. This doesn't mean, and LMFG, you just said this. This is kind of like you're in the middle of this consensus as well. This does not mean Coinbase did anything illegal, guys. Taking money from a convicted felon is not a crime. And the investments happened over a decade ago, right? 10 plus years ago, when crypto was still a wild, wild west funding source arena. And there were no due diligence done in this particular situation. He actually did refer to Hoffman, but Hoffman said no, he still went in anyway and made some money, right? We all do that. But here's the catch. But it does raise questions about the industry's early days and the people who bankrolled its most important companies. Very interesting statement there. Now, here are some of the things that stand out. The timing. Epstein's invested 6 years after his conviction. By 2014, his status as a registered you-know-what was public to knowledge. Now, the email suggests Coinbase leadership was aware of who they were dealing with. Let's deal with that one point as well, LMFG. Does that even make you feel any type of way that they actually knew about his actual conviction?
I really don't know. It's, to me, just a moot point, man. It don't mean nothing.
Yeah. This is the consensus. Very moot, and people really don't care, right? But the Bitcoin thing is different. People really care about that because of the potential, back door within the code, which is crazy, man. We may get into that. Now, the network aspect, Brock Pierce, now known as the best known Tether co-founder, Brock Pierce, he founded Tether, right? He essentially brokered the deal. Other Epstein files show how he CC'd on early crypto discussions about Ripple as well, and Stellar, and Bitcoin scaling debates as well. So Epstein is he was knee deep into Stellar, knee deep into Ripple's ongoings, and the Bitcoin scaling debates as well. Back end issues, things of that nature, the coding basically took over when it comes to foundation, funding and things of that nature. This is interesting, LMFG. He also claimed to have spoken with numerous Bitcoin founders about actual, activities within the newly formed foundation. So what's your take on that? It seems like Epstein was knee deep into crypto, bro, especially in the founding early stages of a lot of these particular platforms and things like Ripple, Stellar, Bitcoin, things of that nature. What's your take, bro? Because I'm hearing a lot of grumbling about this aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, to me, it really, it's a moot point. It absolutely means nothing to me. If there's a backdoor to Bitcoin, yeah, that means something. But if he invested into, I don't care what he invested into. That guy means nothing.
No, absolutely.
It should mean nothing to the technology. That's my outlook.
That's pretty much, the consensus. Who cares, right? Who cares if he invested in it? Who cares how much money he put in it? But when it comes to the network aspect, I kind of care. If he had anything, what's going on? Does every platform have a back door? Can these blockchains literally be shut on and off? By players that we know nothing about? It's an interesting point.
I would think that would have to be seen already with all the guys trying to hack into the code, and it would have came out already. You got millions of people trying to hack into this stuff. It'd have been done already. If there's a backdoor, they would have been found, especially with AI working this stuff now.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's just the question begs to be answered, especially when it comes to Bitcoin, especially when it comes to the wallet, bro. What really pops up to me? Satoshi's wallet. That is a massive wallet that contains massive amounts of Bitcoin. That is worth massive amounts of money. A lot of people are saying that is the Epstein estate's wallet. That just blows my mind. That wallet being part of the Epstein estate. Just that notion. They have access to that. Could break Bitcoin at any given time. That is a lot of BTC, bro. So this, again, speculation. A lot of alleged activity here. Let's continue now. The return, the $3 million investment that was made by Epstein at the time, at a $400 million valuation, in what became $51 billion worth of company revenue, right, is at a 125x plus return. Epstein's estate likely still holds exposure to Coinbase. So at this point in time, they still have a massive stake. And I'm talking about Epstein's estate, essentially. So whoever's over the estate, they have control of the actual interview, 15 hours of interview data, which they leaked an hour and a half of that already. And they still have control and massive exposure to Coinbase here. So this is a very interesting situation. Now, this story won't derail Coinbase, obviously not. But it does remind us that crypto moves very, very fast. And it also breaks things. I love this statement, right? There's a trade-off here as well. So due diligence was not a priority back then, LMFG. And some of the industry's biggest winners were funded by people who, in hindsight, probably should have been shown the door, essentially. So the author of this article is saying, a lot of people who were actually had open doors when it comes to investing in crypto, they should have never had the opportunity. This is what he said, right? The door should have been shut. Now the industry has to reckon with this historical admission. It's all public now. So, what's your take, bro? Should he been denied? And, Hoffman said, hey, man, I wouldn't do it. He did it. They did 125X on it, right? They still hold some. They still have a stake too. It's very interesting. What's your lasting take on this before we move to the PolyMarket Nevada situation?
Yeah, it's just crazy. I don't know. I really have no take on this, man.
You want to stay away from this, huh?
It is what it is. And like, I mean, they can go in and look at anybody that is not like somebody in the world, and you'll find that they put millions of dollars into it and made billions,
Absolutely.
In 10 years. So we can go on and on with that.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I don't blame you. You're probably like, I don't want to touch this. Listen, I'll touch it. It's interesting. It's relevant discussion. So, what is it? Money eBiz. I think that's what you said. Noni eBiz. Some very interesting comments here. So let's get to the first comment. It says, entire stock market operated and funded. It says the whole entire stock market was ran and funded by these sick elites. And I'm reading the comment here, guys, the comment section in the chat here. Everyone needs to dump their stocks, and these fools were increasing their wealth while gambling on ours. Crypto was turned into this is the second comment. Crypto was turned into a commodity in 2015, LMFG. Interesting. With the push of Harvard and MIT with funding through Epstein. And I saw that in the files too. You're right about that. Well, I don't know if it's 100% correct. This is what's coming out. It's all in the Epstein list files. It is. I saw that. Now, crypto has existed since 1981. LMFG, what's your take on that? In this, I know you want to touch this, but it's, you don't have to have a take on the early, but the crypto being in existence since 1981. That's interesting.
Yeah, no, I know that. It was cryptography that they were working on. You're going back to MIT. That's pretty much, and who was it? I forget. I don't want to go, but it was the universities that got together with it, and that's what Satoshi grabbed and said, "Hey, if I use this on a financial system," and that's where the blockchain came in. We can go back to what was it? Clear. Ripple was around. It wasn't Ripple. I forget the name of they had a coin and everything. Probably in 07 or 06. That's when Schwartz was working on this stuff. So yeah, it has been around.
Yeah, Schwartz has some very interesting posts too about the Epstein situation. He's been firing off some very toasty posts since these files have been leaked. Over 3 million documents. Pam Bondi really delivered. But it may get her fired. It's crazy. It may get her fired. I don't know. And Trump asked for this. So he got it. I don't think he likes it. Interesting times, guys. Interesting times. None ye abyss. So I think that's what your tag is. It says, I told you guys for years, I have so much truth being proven now. I have the case file number to prove it. No, listen, that $3 million dump, very interesting. I will tell you this, and I can't wait to see the rest of the video footage too as well. Over 15 hours. So LMFG, I got to send you a link to that first drop. Oh man, lots of gems there, and it's not all what you think. I mean, he explains the fractionalization of banking so clearly. It was like he was like, I know I'm going out, guys, so I'm finna tell everybody the truth here about banking, about our financial systems, and how misconstrued it is, and how a lot of the leaders really don't understand anything about money, anything about the Fed, anything about financial institutions. They don't understand the core. And this is why we have disarray. This is why we have so much debt. You have banks taking one of your dollars and actually loaning $9 out against that $1. It's crazy. It's crazy. So we may get into that. I don't know. We may get into a little bit. Lex Friedman was studying. This is another comment. Then we'll move on to the Nevada thing. None YB says, there's another comment, firing him off. Lex Friedman, I think it is, was studying privately at MIT in 2015 at LMFG in a class specifically designed to teach crypto, podcasting, influencing. That's interesting. and networking for streaming and AI manipulation. Epstein funded all of this and taught it. Very interesting. Very interesting. He says he's going to be coming forth to expose legions. Man, I might have to do a podcast with you, brother. Get with me, bro. I may need to do a podcast with you. This is very interesting. LMFG says, hey, he says, hey, non-beast. He says, check this out. Cryptography was invented in antiquity, with the earliest known evidence dated back to around 1900 BC. What a drop right there, bro. We're talking about in the early Egypt days.
Yeah, it was secrecy. That's all. And then they applied mathematics to it. I mean,
Nice.
you can go on as far as just coding and, you know what I mean, encryption. It's pretty much cryptography in a roundabout way. It's privacy.
Yeah. Crazy, bro. Yeah, we did. Non-Bis, I think that's how you pronounce it, bro. We got to do a podcast, man. You're dropping gems, man. We'll make it an audio podcast just to keep it anonymous. Get with me. We need to link up. We could do a hell of a podcast. Let's get into this. We must segue. Now, we talked about PolyMarket earlier. By the way, crypto.com releasing a amazing platform, compartmentalizing all of the aspects of prediction markets, putting them all under one umbrella. Was released today. Pretty interesting situation. Prediction markets. First of all, LMFG. Are you excited? I'm excited about what's going on with them. They're walking a thin line, and we're going to get into this court case, this temporary restraining order that Nevada has put on PolyMarket, the juggernaut of the prediction market industry right now, the inaugural, right? They caught the presidential wave and they shot off like a rocket, and they've been in orbit ever since. What you take on prediction markets, LMFG? Or are you enjoying this, this thin line that they're walking? We're going to get into this interesting precedence that's being set too as well.
Yeah, it really is. It is gambling. It's a casino, period. That's it. You know, if you think it's an investment, like people are like, well, I'm invested into you invest into the coin. Is that project going to make it? Okay, if they have a coin even, but it's just gambling. 100%.
No, it is.
Otherwise, you're crazy.
Yeah, I had a discussion. I had an argument with this guy on Reddit about this. He was like, "Oh, it's not gambling." Andrew says, "What's BTC's next support?" Listen. Let me look. That's a good question, because we're going to 73,000 at this. We're at 73,000. It's kind of bouncing back and forth. Your current support level, I got to be real with you, is 70,000 at this point in time. All right. No one is, Andrew. This is a mass exodus right now. Retail is already priced out. They're gone. So you have a lot of institutions. They borrowed the money that they invested in. They're trying to get that back as quick as possible right now. You have Michael Saylor that's screaming on top of his lungs right now. I don't care what anybody says. That guy is smoking right now. MicroStrategies is going down. I hate to even say it. Swervy Champ says Trump media company spent $100 million for BTC at $119. Definitely. Yeah, Andrew, they're scared. They're scared. Yeah, we were talking about MetaMask earlier with the Undo partnership with the we talked about that earlier, and we may reiterate. We'll circle back. Tim, we're going to circle back to that too, because that was pretty interesting, and I know LMFG loves that. And LMFG brought up the Microsoft partnership too with MetaMask. I think they have to stay relevant. I think this is a great way to stay relevant. We're going to get into that now. We got to get into this. And by the way, your floor for Bitcoin is 70K. I think that's a strong floor. Wouldn't you say, LMFG? We go beyond 70, and it's a free fall. It's a tailspin at that point.
Right. Yeah. I just went on that one site, Tensor Charts, and right now it's definitely at 72K, and there's nothing going in higher. So we take it from there, and it's I don't know if you ever hear of that, tensorcharts.com. Yeah,
no, that's when you see the tracing. See, listen, I'm going to tell you guys.
I'm taking a picture, and I can't put it on the YouTube.
No, the price tracing on there is amazing. And I'll tell you guys, CoinMarketCap, the price tracing, it's a little off, right? I'm seeing 74 on CoinMarketCap. I guarantee you we're at 73, 72. They're a little off of the price tracing. Let's see, Swerve says April start to run, June show ATH. April to June. Okay. All right. The closer we get to midterms, the scarier it's going to be. I would tell you that. But we're kind of bouncing around 73, 74. And again, 70,000 is going to be your floor at this point in time. And we're getting there pretty quick. So we're going to need something very extravagant to happen, something very extraordinary to happen, to even prevent what I see is happening right now, LMFG. And when I say extravagant, it's going to have to be a whopper of an event to prevent us going below 70K right now, because it just doesn't look good.
Right. And remember that you got everybody, you got all the banks in there. And I believe that banks and the crypto guys in Washington, D.C. yesterday and today. And I believe Trump is supposed to crash that meeting for a bit. And then right now in New York, you got the Ondo Summit, and they got everybody, all the Black Rocks. They got a lot of people sitting up there.
Yeah.
This should be interesting what comes out over the next couple of days over these meetings, especially if they get somewhere negotiate with this the interest on the stable coins.
Yeah, the banks aren't really moving on that. That's the thing. The banks are like
split it or something. They give them a 2% or 3% max. Something they got to come up with. They got to split it.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Change their business model, and if they don't, this will not go through. 100%. This will just keep getting kicked down the road. And remember the clause about stopping the president. They should change that to stop the president, the senators, and the congressmen. I mean, I see a lot of this getting kicked down the road. Hoskinson may be right. See you in 2029.
Yeah, 2029. Yep.
That'll suck. That'll really suck for this for the regulations here. I think you'll see Ripple leave the states.
Could you blame them? Right. I mean,
no, 100% not. They just got approved by the European Union. It's in writing now. They just got approved. Yesterday. So that's rocking and rolling. So they're in 75 countries now, transferring bank money and doing real world assets on the ledger. Have a nice day. And they can't do it here in the United States. So why keep the headquarters here? And they're in California paying all those taxes.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's another mass exodus. There was some really nice pump, after the news, the Ondo news, and then it was annihilated. I'll show you guys in a little bit. This is how really, really bad it is. I don't recommend anybody buying anything right now because you're going to get slammed. You are exit liquidity at this point in time. I don't care if it's Bitcoin or anything below. You're going to be. So if you can accept that and you're very, very, interested in what you're investing in, go for it. You're getting a good deal. But I got to tell you, your investment is going to evaporate before your very eyes very, very quickly. I mean, I'm looking at the Ondo situation, a huge buy-in, posting announcement, and then it was completely, all those buys were annihilated. So you have to understand what you're getting into if you are. Andrew says XRP is looking like a pump and dump. There's a lot of really mad XRPers right now. Big time. Very, very mad. Very interesting. Let's get into this, man. We're running too long on that. Nevada court has hit PolyMarket with a temporary restraining order, LMFG. This is going to test the CFTC's control now. Nevada's like, we don't care. We are going to regulate on a state level. This is the way it should be. And there's some actual leeway here as well. Here's a sub-headline. A Nevada judge has temporarily barred prediction market PolyMarket from offering event contracts in the state, pushing back against claims that only the CFTC, LMFG, can police the markets as a whole. And I do agree with this. A Nevada state judge has temporarily forced on-chain prediction markets, PolyMarket, to halt business in the state. And it's just not Nevada. You have this going on in other states as well. Let's continue. With the ruling that challenges the industry's argument that federally commoditized or commodity laws preempt state gambling rules, which they should not. Especially in Nevada, right? So in a Thursday order seen by this particular, article creator, and across the board, I actually looked this up as well. It's very, very easy to get this court documents. This is real. This is happening. The court granted the Nevada Gaming Control Board a 14-day temporary restraining order. It's called a TRO against PolyMarket operator Blockrotize. I think that's what they're calling that. The order, excuse me if I'm mispronouncing that. The particular order bans PolyMarket from offering event-based contracts to NVIDIA. NVIDIA. That was a 40 slope. Nevada residents while the case develops. Now, a preliminary injunction hearing is scheduled for February the 11th. So it's a pretty long 14-day temporary restraining order. And that's a pretty big market too. That is the gambling capital of the country, essentially. I can understand why PolyMarket is wanting to, sink their teeth into Nevada. Let's continue. The order leans on Nevada's gambling statutes. Findings at this early stage is that PolyMarket, this is what they found. The PolyMarket sports and other events market constitute unlicensed wagering rather than regulated financial products. You said this earlier. We'll stop here. You said this earlier. This is gambling. This is not financial products. And it should be regulated as such. What's your take so far?
100%, brother. It's gambling. And that's why Nevada's doing it, because the casinos are probably losing money. They're like, nobody's coming to the casino, or they're going there getting their freebies and then staying in the room and playing on PolyMarket. Hell, they might even be sitting downstairs in front of one of those penny machines or nickel machines and getting free drinks and playing PolyMarket on their phones.
No, you're right. You're right. Why go to the casino? You can just sit on your computer and just go at it, bro. A lot of people are very successful, and I'm telling you, a lot of these predictions are so easy. They're so easy to make money off of, man, because a lot of it is just obvious shit, very obvious outcomes. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. So here's the actual case file. You can get this online and read it. It's a lot, but this is essentially what's going on here now. Here's more. The judge cited immediate and irreparable harm to the state's ability to police betting integrity, underage gambling, and suitable standards if the platform continues to operate in the state without a gambling license. So they can't police this. They're scared. There's a lot of underage gambling going on, right? The standards are low. We got to stop this. You're going to need a license. Now, in doing so, the court, and that's a big statement, guys. Big time, because a lot of these prediction markets, they are operating without license, whether they don't have any gambling license. This could change the whole landscape of prediction markets going forward within the country. We're not talking about globally. Within the country, this can change the whole trajectory of prediction markets. If they are required to actually hold gambling license and actually renew these annually or biannually, however the language may come out. LMFG, this is going to change the whole landscape, the whole trajectory of this movement.
Well, think about it, 100%. And then comes taxes. You get a license, then you get taxes. It's the way it is, man. I'm going to have to not take everything. You're going to have to share. That's what's coming. The taxes are coming.
Yeah. No,
you can see some of them just close up, because to get a license, you're probably going to have this, and this. And it may go as far as, if somebody's going to use your software, you're going to need to KYC into it. And that's how they fix it. It's just like going to the casino. You got to show your ID. You got to be to get in there, and it's going to wind up being the same. That's right. It's going to take years. You watch down the road. It's just going to wind up in the courts and blah blah blah. Such idiots. They had the Clarity Act it was written up when Biden was in there, and then Trump screwed it all up. Democrats. That thing would have went in with over 60 votes, and at least we would have a foundation. You know what I mean? And then we could be dealing with tweaking it down the road. But right now, ugly.
No, it is. It is.
See what happens. I think the states are going to follow. Any states,
absolutely.
The ones that do have gambling in their states, they're going to go after it. They're going to jump right on this train.
You have to. There has to be. I don't even think you have the KYC. I could be wrong, but I don't think you have the KYC. But taxes, you brought up a good point. So, I think they need to be regulated as such as well. You can't let this can't be Wild Wild West. This is going to become a huge problem, if you don't regulate this as gambling, because it is what it is. I don't care. I had a lot of big time discussion about this. It is freaking gambling. Somebody said that BTC froze last week. Wasn't it? Listen, guys, Bitcoin is very slow right now. You got a lot of people that are trying to get out, mass exodus. So the actual trading times, the transaction times are going to be very, very slow, very, very slow. Let's continue, because we're going to talk about the other states that are following this fold as well. In doing so, the court rejected the actual operators of PolyMarket's contention that the Commodities Exchange Act gives the U.S. Commodities Futures Trade Commission, CFTC, exclusive jurisdiction over its event contracts, concluding that Nevada can still apply its own gaming laws. So it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And if this precedent is set, this is going to cascade across the country, because a lot of these states need that tax revenue, and they'll be able to get it. Now, I don't know how this works in Oklahoma. There's an interesting dynamic in Oklahoma. So, I'll be interested to see how this works out in Oklahoma, and how they, I don't even think they're going to allow this. But the Nevada cases, this is going to set a precedence. Now, the author actually reached out to PolyMarket for a comment. This is what followed. Now, the Nevada joins Tennessee, guys, in prediction market pushback as well. Tennessee has done the same thing here. So there is a, prior pushback here. The Nevada thing is very interesting because it is a gambling capital of the country. The case follows a broader enforcement pattern in the prediction market industry. Last month, Tennessee Sports Wagering Council ordered Kalashi, PolyMarket, and Crypto.com, North America derivative exchanges as well, along with the prediction markets, to halt sports events contracts for state residents. So they have been blocked out of Tennessee as well. This voids Tennessee traders and the trades, and they have to refund all the users, LMFG. Same has happened in Nevada as well. The council argues, so they're losing money right now. The council argued that those products were sports bets subject to state gambling regulations. So you have Tennessee saying the same thing. You need to get a gambling license before you even approach our state residency. You have to be regulated. Now, with gambling regulations comes taxes, just like you said. This is going to change the whole trajectory of prediction markets. Only the serious builders of these markets and these deployments are going to actually, go along with this, because it's serious.
That's the ones to pay attention to, the ones that do go ahead and get licensed. The first one, rock and roll. I wouldn't doubt it if you see it start already. Give it a month or two, see what happens. Oh, this one's licensed, that one's licensed.
Yeah. That's if they're serious.
Because there is that much money going into it. So walk away from that. Hell, you might see the casinos start getting into it.
Well, Crypto.com just released one hell of a block. You can pretty much do whatever you need to. They have it all. Now, Crypto.com, they have their history as well. But we'll see. The Nevada and Tennessee actions also land amid a wider clash. Now, Kalashi, which is another prediction market, pretty decent one, a CFTC designated contract market, this is what Kalashi is, has spent almost a year fighting states and federal cases over whether its product is derivatives or illegal gambling. It is illegal. Come on. It's gambling. Everybody knows this. Now, the results have been mixed across the board. It won temporary protection in some jurisdictions like Connecticut and New Jersey, but faced adverse rulings or dissolved injunctions in others, including Nevada and Maryland as well. Maryland is in this as well. So in December, Coinbase sued regulation. Here's a little additional content here for this. In December, Coinbase sued regulators in Connecticut, Illinois, and Michigan. The crypto exchange asked federal courts to declare that prediction markets listed on a CFTC regulated venue fall under the Commodities Exchange Act and the CFTC's claim exclusion jurisdiction, as opposed to 50 separate state gambling codes. So basically, to sum this up, and this is, per Coinbase is a filing here, they want prediction markets to be classified as non-gambling arenas and excluded from any gambling regulation activities. This is essentially what they're saying. They're going to lose this fight, bro. They're going to lose this fight.
Yeah, I was just going to say, never happened. They will lose.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see how this works out because they're going to lose this fight. And I think a lot of the actual, the market is going to shrink because only the serious players, only the serious builders of these products are going to actually move forward because it's going to take some money. They're going to have to annually or, biannually, renew these licensings. And then there's a whole nother landscape. They're going to have to provide a lot of protection. They're going to have to provide a lot of education and KYC as well. They're going to have to, send those tax forms, all that good stuff that comes with gambling, legalized gambling. Will they put up with that? Because a lot of these prediction markets, these developers, man, they're not set up for this. They don't have a tax wing. They're not protected. They don't have KYC, right? They can't, and a lot of them don't even know how to actually, act or perform like casinos. They have no freaking clue. They just deployed a prediction market. They just did the code and that's it, So a lot of them are going to disappear, unfortunately, but only the serious ones will apply. So this is a very interesting development. Let's go ahead and get to this. We got to get into what Vitalik said about L2s before we get out of here. This is crazy. So you had Vitalik. This is what he said about L2s, LMFG. The original vision of layer 2, we're talking layer 2 blockchain technology, which there are a lot of them that are actually attached to Ethereum, which is crazy. Now, this is what he said. The original vision of these L2s and their role in Ethereum is no longer, or absolutely does not, no longer make sense. And we need a new path, unquote. This is what Vitalik has said, brother. Before we get into the nuances, are you shocked?
Yeah and no. He does state in there, because I did read it, and it does state in there, it still can survive, but you have to have a use case, pretty much. I think it's right in the center paragraph there, somewhere in there. But he did talk about fees coming down, and there are a lot of upgrades coming, but they are behind the times, Ethereum itself, compared to what's out there now, so, and I think the layer 3 ability, and to me, I think of it as the OSI model. It's just another layer up that you're doing pretty much all your AI stuff. It's all done for you. You don't have to worry about it. That's what's coming, I think, all throughout. Even your layer 2s are going to be using the layer 3. I see that. I think that technology is major, because you're going to wind up getting more and more data through on these packets because they're so small. Your actual usable data is so small on a packet.
Yeah.
It's we'll see. You'll be tweaking.
Yeah.
And I tell you, this could change the market when people start reading this. So
this is huge, bro.
Yeah, it's some people may not read between the lines.
I'll tell you, out of a room of 10, only 2 people will read this. This is the problem with the space. No one's reading. No one's actually doing the research. This is huge. This is a big deal right here.
I did not speed read it. I speed read, so I did not. I read this one word for word.
It's crazy. Dave's XRP says, how Epstein's BTC going to zero? Guess where the money is going? He says XRP. I seen a post and they're comparing this, and they were doing, some weird math, but obviously it had BTC at $5,000 and XRP at 100,000. Listen, I love XRP, but 100,000, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a hell of a swing.
Once in a while.
Yeah. I mean, we can dream, right? We can definitely dream. We can definitely dream. Now, here's a little, excerpt of what, Vitalik, what Buterin said. And honestly, guys, I think these new L1s that are coming out, if we keep getting the L1s like Monad, we're not going to need the L2s. And I can see where he's coming from. The L2s would be completely obsolete. You wouldn't need them. You're not going to need them, So I kind of get what he's saying. Maybe the writing's on the wall, especially if these L3s are as robust as we know they're going to be going forward. You really don't need a L2 LMFG. You really don't. This is what he's saying. There have recently been some discussions on ongoing roles of L2s. This is Buterin. This is what he's saying. In the Ethereum ecosystem, especially in the face of the two facts, here's 2 points that are pretty legitimate. L2's progress to stage 2 and secondary and interop as well has been far slower and more difficult than originally expected. So they have hit a roadblock with the progression of these L2s, the evolutionary factors, the curve. They've hit a roadblock. It's too slow, and it has presented to be more difficult. This is what Vitalik is saying. This is sad. This is really bad news. Now, here's the second point. L1 itself is scaling, and we know this. Look at what Monad is doing. Look at the robust Monad chain. And he's admitting this. L1s are scaling profusely. Fees are very low on new L1s. And gas limits are projected to increase greatly, well past 2026. Both of these facts, for their own separate reasons, means that the original vision for layer 2 technology and their role in Ethereum no longer makes sense, guys. And we need a new path. This is crazy that he's saying this, but I think he's just coming to the limelight. He's seeing the truth, right? And I think this is great for Ethereum because now that, let's see the direction. Now we have Glamsterdam, which is going to be a major update coming up for Ethereum. Hopefully that goes through, with no, barring anything weird. Glamsterdam is a success. I think that's going to be great for ETH, but this, they're pretty much shutting the doors on L2, and they got a massive amount of money that has been poured into these L2s. I don't know, brother. This is pretty unfortunate information for the L2ers and people who are investing in these L2s. I don't know. What's your lasting take on this?
Yeah, again, L2s can still survive. You know what I mean?
Do you think they still have a place?
If you read it that in there, that center paragraph, if you have a use case, you got something, and you double, triple the speed of what Ethereum can do, it could still work. But you're going to tweak it probably. You got to tweak it. You got to have something more than just say it's cheaper because he's expecting the price come down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ethereum, they're gonna come down eventually as they tweak this thing. So we'll see.
Yeah, very interesting time. So we're going to be winding it down. We're going to get this member giveaway going too as well. We give out cash, Solana, to all the members. We get 3 winners. We're going to spin that wheel. We're going to make sure we got everybody on the wheel. And all you have to do to actually get access to the wheel, just become a member of the channel and interact with some of the member-only content every Tuesday. We do a drawing. We do a wheel spin, and we take 3 of the members, and you're going to win some cash prizes, guys. So that's all it is. And I hope you guys enjoy the update too, the member update. $73,000 LMFG. We're getting pretty close to 72. So that floor, I think we're going to breach that floor.
Lounge, the numbers are snowballing on tens of charts.
Yeah, man.
Now 400 down at 70K, and there's nothing up top. There's nothing to carry Bitcoin up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 70K, that's going to be coming probably tonight.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. Crazy selling. Crazy selling. None ye bis. Thanks for coming, bro. And thanks for everybody that was coming to the show today and your comments. We got to do a podcast. None ye bis. Get with me, man. We got to do a podcast on that, man. Very interesting information about the crypto. And LMFG, man, 1900s cryptography. Interesting, bro. We may have to do a trio podcast on all of that. $73,000. We're probably going to breach my set 70K floor by Friday. I think we're going to breach that. And then Michael Saylor's probably going to lose his shit. He's probably going to lose his shit. God bless the guy. I have to tell you, he's been very consistent. LMFGs. At least we can say that. He's going down with the ship. He's going to go down with the ship. Now, briefly, we'll get into a little news here. Apparently, Nancy Pelosi has cratered PayPal holdings. Did you see this? This is very interesting. Nancy Pelosi single-handedly cratered PayPal's chart. She sold over $500,000 worth of stock. And this is what she did. This is what she did. She disclosed it. I think she did it legally. She's not part of Congress anymore. So, but yeah, what you take, brother? This was massive. This just induces, more selling. She created FOMO, and then you see the cascade. Pretty interesting, it's her money. It's her money. So it is what it is. Right? More breaking news here. Now, I told you guys about crypto.com. Now, LMFG. This is amazing. Now, crypto.com launches a U.S. prediction market. Crypto.com rolls out a huge prediction market suite. It's going to be U.S. focused prediction markets. It's going to be powered, and it's regulated by a CFTC. Now, we just talked about the Nevada case. I don't think going forward the CFTC is going to be allowed to actually, oversee it, have this overwhelming effect, because we see Nevada challenging this as well, because they're not doing a very good job of regulating prediction markets. They're calling them financial products, and they're not. It's gambling. So I think the CFTC going forward, they may be stripped of their regulatory values when it comes to crypto prediction markets. They're just not doing a good job. There's not enough, investor protection here. There's no oversight at all when it comes to the gambling aspect of it. But with that being said, this crypto.com offering offers regulated sports events contracts alongside financial, political, and culture markets, and plans to introduce margin trading as well. LMFG, they got it all, which will make it the first prediction market platform to do so in the United States. So this is what you have here, and hand clap for the innovation. We got to do that. LMFG, this is huge for crypto.com, right? I'm pretty sure it's going to be layered on Chronos as well. You have and this is US based, which is very interesting. But I think they're going to hit a wall, because if the Nevada case actually makes it to federal court, this could change the whole landscape. Now, I know locally in the state, they've already shut out PolyMarket, and I think they're going to continue to do so. But yeah, politics, economics, sports events, financials, the margin trading, and then culture coming soon. This suite is going to do very well up until a certain point, to where regulation kicks in. What you take, man? Crypto.com, this is a decent, drop, I would say.
Right. And I was just checking. So it is pretty much all up against the states. There's some federal stuff, but it's all the gaming commissions,
Yeah.
And I take 100%. They're gonna have to be licensed.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully they're ready for it. And we'll stop with this, because we didn't get
all the cash crypto.com has.
Oh, they got a lot. They're
probably already ready.
Yeah.
Probably.
No doubt, man. Crypto talk, and then we got to get into this now. During yesterday's White House meeting, we're talking about the actual crypto legislation. This is kind of the newest information here, and I want to drop this. During the actual White House meeting that the banks had with Trump, and then there were some crypto fellows there. So I think Garlinghouse was on a video call, and Brian Armstrong, and other players as well that are representing the space. During this meeting, banks reportedly refused to make any deals concerning stablecoin yields, LMFG. Crypto representatives reportedly left frustrated. So a lot of the crypto reps was like, you know what, screw you, we're out of here. They left frustrated. This is a meeting they had yesterday that Trump hosted. And they basically are feeling like the banks are stalling the whole legislative process when it comes to crypto legislation. We're talking market structure bill. We're talking, Clarity Act, upcoming amendments to the Genius Act, which a lot New York attorneys general saying basically the Genius Act is a lightning rod for fraud. Very interesting. That's an ongoing situation in New York. They're attacking the Genius Act. Let's continue here. Bank lobbyists, this is the money train, offered no compromise when it comes to bank yields, when it comes to stablecoin yields, saying rules must, support local lending and protect the safety and soundness of the financial system, unquote, which is fractional. which is already broken, by the way. The White House has asked both sides to return prepared to agree on real changes. Until this happens, crypto bill or the market structure bill, however you want to call it, Clarity Act, is unlikely to move, and it is stalled indefinitely. So that's pretty bearish, man. That is very, very bearish. So 2029, this is what, the Cardano leader, ADA leader, Midnight Builder, Charles Hoskinson, this is why he ran away from the White House. Very upset, LMFG. He's calling for 2029 from what I just read and from what I just actually researched before the show. We're not getting legislation. And if midterms do not go the way of the Republicans, and Trump is already saying this, he's going to be impeached. And the whole crypto agenda will be stalled out indefinitely. It could possibly, everything that has happened up to this point could be dismantled. What's your last intake, bro?
Yeah, exactly what you said. I might think he'll get impeached, but it won't go through. You know what I mean? It won't get through the Senate unless somehow there's 60 of them there. And you never know. Hey, dude, I seen that. That one dude just got in, the Democrat in Texas. Bro, and this was I was afraid about. People from New York and California all moving there, and the idiots wind up all voting Democrat and wind up in the same situation as California and New York. I hate to say that to you, brother, but could you imagine?
Yeah, I don't want to imagine. Listen, I think the southern half of my state is purple.
Because I'm the most expensive gas in the country.
Yeah, don't remind me, man. It's gonna make me get a Tesla. I don't know. Is that even? We get charged in Texas. If you buy a Tesla in Texas, your registration doubles. Your yearly registration doubles. The price of it doubles. They tax you for that.
Yeah, for the road tax. Yep.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't partake, and those that do, they're crying. So
our power bill just doubled here too.
Yeah.
I was always paying $1.20 and then $1.80 in the winter, and now I'm paying $3.80 in the winter.
No, it's nuts. That's nuts. Yeah, I'm gonna. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 members, glorious members that I need to add to this will because they did contribute to the member video. They did comment. Yeah, and I'm gonna get you Tim Crute. I see we got Logan, Size, Sartha Meth. I got Sartha on there as well. So. And speaking of Michael Saylor, we got to get to this. There's some new reports here concerning this kerfuffle that he's finds himself in here. Michael Saylor and his beloved strategies is now $630 million underwater, wiping out all of the firm's $47 billion in unrealized profits. All gone. All gone. Crazy work here.
I was shocked when I think it was close to 300,000 and he had him at like $30,000 was the average cost. Why he didn't stop there, I have no idea. The guy's just, and like you said,
he's a madman.
He just bought more the other day. But I don't get
complete idiot. Completed. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. I don't know. Maybe he knows something we don't know. I don't know what the hell he knows. Now, to continue with this, this was just 4 months ago, as Bitcoin plunged below his average cost bias of $76,000. So we're at almost 72 LMFG. Bitcoin is still up 550%, obviously, if you zoom out, obviously, since sailors first started buying in August of 2020. But because he purchased so heavily, he bought in on the top, guys, so heavily. The total return is currently negative 0.3%. So all that buying, all that boasting, buying at the top, which you should never do. He broke the cardinal rule. He just wiped out $47 billion in unrealized profits. Just because he chose to be supremely bullish. Very irresponsible for a guy that has been widely known as a smart investor, smart guy. High IQ people don't do shit like this. I'm sorry. So this is very interesting. Very interesting. Holy crap. Very, very interesting. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on with that. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files thousands and thousands of times in those files. They're highly disturbing, whatever. I'm not even going there. We did get the shutdown averted. It says 2 Republicans vote nay, effectively stalling the bill to fund the government to keep the federal government in a partial shutdown. One of the lawmakers opposing the measures, Representative Thomas Massey. So, hand clap for Thomas Massey. He just actually, basically promoted a shutdown. So hand clap to the idiot. I don't know, man. LMFG, looks like we're shutting down, brother. Looks like we're shutting down. Let's go ahead and get out of here. I need to get people on the wheel here. Let me get this. It just keeps getting worse and worse, brother. Hyperinflation, here we come. Once we get the new Fed chair, we didn't even talk about that. So when we get Walsh in, it looks like it's going to be Walsh. I think it is. He's going to drop the rates to 0. Hyperinflation, here we come. Zimbabwe dollar, here we come. It's going to be one hell of a year.
Yeah, pretty ugly. I don't know. These guys are idiots, and now they're saying that now they're just going to put in that SAVE Act and not open it, and so the Democrats are going to come out and say that they're not opening it because of the SAVE Act. And he's saying it's racist again. Schumer's out there. It's just ridiculous.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I don't get it. And they want to wipe out funding for ICE.
It's ridiculous, man.
You can't make it up.
Yeah, that's the main deal right there. The funding for ICE. It is what it is, man. It's so ridiculous. I think the Epstein shit is a smoke screen. I really do. Even though there's some gems in those 15 hours of videos, but I think a lot of it just to throw everybody off, give you something to chew on, while they completely just screw up everything.
The fraud is just horrendous. And I don't know if you just seen it. It just came out, and they had 1,900 hospice places in a square 2 miles in California. They just found.
No, wow.
Dude, that's so many more than you have in Florida, where all the retirees they go and die there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's constant. My buddy's down there. He keeps buying houses, redoing them, and buying another one, and moving into them. Lives there for 2 years, grabs another one. And there's 58 in Florida, and there's 1,900 just in that LA County. It's crazy,
bro. Who in the hell is buying a house right now at these rates? I mean, good Lord. You got cash buyers, obviously, right?
That's what my buddy does. He just buys cash.
Okay. Yeah, I can totally get that. Cash buyers are winning, but you're going in trying to get a loan, you're getting screwed. You are getting screwed. Right. Big time,
Yeah, my buddy's an animal. I was thinking I was going to take, he goes, oh, this will be the last one, because he just bought another house. He just finished one, and now he's got it up for sale for like $320. But most of the houses go for around $200 in that area. Yeah. But when he does them, everything brand new. I mean, Cadillac, huge showers. He really does a nice job. So I'm thinking about going up PolyMarket and say, okay, when's the next time Buck's going to sell this house? In a year and a half, 2 years? Saying it's the last one, but he always keeps saying that and keeps doing it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Little personal stuff there. All good. Rock and roll.
Yeah, France is coming out saying they're going to freeze Elon Musk's assets. Bro, this is a really weird news day. I have to tell you, very weird news day. France could freeze the financial assets of Elon Musk and jail him for foreign election interference. They're never going to do it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So
the way Elon's going, they're going to start burning Teslas here again.
Oh my God.
Everybody's hating on him. It's crazy. And he just, Starlink and XAI just went in. He's buying it right before this, not Starlink, SpaceX before the IPO. And now he just signed a thing where he's going to do satellite to sell. I forget what country. He just signed a deal yesterday. satellite to cell in one country, so everybody in rural areas will have coverage. It's the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, you got to see this, bro. This is what they're this is what they're calling Bitcoin right now. Oh my God, this is getting weird, man. So this is what they're calling Bitcoin right now. Oh my God. Is that Jay? What's going on? Jay says those who are rich are all the names will be in the list there, in the Epstein list. Bitstein is going to zero. This is a hashtag Bitstein. Oh my God. I don't know.
How many Bitstein coins are out right now? Tokens.
Well, yeah, this is another one too. What did I see here? This is another one too. We hate when he says anything about markets, right? He says, Jim Cramer says Bitcoin will not fall below 73. So look out below. I already told you guys, 70 is the floor. We get past 70, it's going to be a freaking tailspin. A freaking tailspin down to 58,000. So let's go ahead and get this. We got everybody on the wheel. Let's go ahead and roll this. We need 3 winners. Let's give out some soul and get out of here, brother. Looks like it's going to be Suzu 15,000. I think it is, man. I think that's what we have here. So hand clap to you. Hand clap to Suzu. I think you renewed your membership too. I saw you earlier. So hand clap to you, man. Another hand clap to Suzu 15,000. Hand clap to all the winners, by the way. I love you guys. Let's go ahead and get 2 more. Looks like Cherry 837. That's what it looks like. So, yeah. Cherry 837, hand clap to you. A massive hand clap to a Cherry 837, I think it is. We need 1 more. All right. Look at here. Enchant 987. Absolutely fantastic. So let's go ahead and reiterate all the winners. So the first one is going to be Suzu 15,000. Hand clap to you once again. We have Cherry 837. You have some soul coming. Hand clap to you as well. Where's my hand claps? There we go. And to round it off, Enchant 987. You have some soul coming to you as well. So all I need is that soul wallet, guys. Hand clap to you guys. Hand clap. So LMFG, as we move out of here, liquidations, we're up to almost 1 billion once again, guys. So the liquidated activity continues. LMFG, the casino keeps rolling, my brother. I wanted to get into this before we got out of here too, but I didn't quite get into it. I'll give you the gist of it because this is very interesting. This is going to be rolling off the heel, this particular situation here, and we'll probably get into this in a standalone video, actually. Trump sold 49. Oh, hold on. Is it there? There it goes. This is interesting, guys, because this is going to roll down the hill very, very wrongly for Trump if he does get impeached. Headline: Trump sold 49% of WLFI, we're talking World Liberty Finance, to the United Arab Emirates royal family through reported $500 million investment in USD1 digital dollars. So for the actual collateralization of it, because it was a conglomerate effect, you had CZ pumping in a lot of money into USD1 as well. So did the UAE, apparently. The trade-off was they got 49% of WLFI. LMFG, this is interesting. They hold a lot of WLFI as well as CZ as well. If I'm a holder, I'm nervous. I'm very nervous. I'm going to do a standalone video about this because this is very interesting. What's your take on this, bro, as we move out?
Yeah, but the UAE has some major regulations and real heavy RWAs out there, real estate. You know,
Yeah,
they put
absolutely.
real estate in. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they got 50% of the stake. I
They
think,
got a lot of money, that's for sure.
man, if they get upset and they dump World Liberty Finance is toast. But you know, Justin Sun's wallet is still frozen. So will they freeze this wallet if things get weird? They froze Justin Sun's wallet. So do they freeze? I don't think they're going to touch this wallet. I don't think they have the balls to freeze the UAE's wallet, the royal family. I don't think they have the balls to do that, because that would be disadvantageous for the platform. But this is very interesting. And I think Elizabeth Warren is going to have a lot to say about this. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So I don't see anything else really, man. You know, Jim Cramer's spooking the entire market. And it is what it is. So with that being said, guys, we're going to get out of here. I think LMFG, I think you did, give us your lasting take. Anything else you want to add? I think you should be very, very cautious in the market. I wouldn't be buying anything at this point in time, guys, because you're going to be exit liquidity. It is what it is. Currently, let me look at the price, because it's nose diving. We did get some retracement back upward, obviously, but it'll be exit liquidity. Whoever bought Bitcoin right now, God bless them. God bless them. They may have a heart attack later on today. I don't wish that, I'm just, but LMFG, lasting takes, bro, and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, and the Tensor chart just came off of 170, now back to 172. So,
man,
I mean, for 72, crazy. I don't know. I'm telling everybody, hold.
Crazy work, yeah.
Put some dry powder on the side, hit the blue chips, stay down. Yeah. A few of the gambles that I'm in, and I don't like to call them gambles, and I won't say any names, but it's what it is, I like bleeding edge technology, and it'll get there. It's just going to take time, man. These politicians, they suck. Everyone enjoy, be safe, rock and roll, man.
Absolutely, brother. Man, be safe, guys. Be careful what you're buying. Do your research. Don't rely on X. Do your research. Take it with a grain of salt. Back up everything you hear, including what I say. Back it up. Look at the information. I look at the information. I just report what I'm reading and what I'm seeing, but I do background, work as well. So, invest in the legit stuff. I will tell you this. No, I'm not financial advice, but invest in the legit stuff. We didn't get into the Ondu thing. I was going to circle back when it comes to the Ondu situation, MetaMask, but that is a legit situation. And I think the only thing missing when it comes to that, right? The MetaMask platform, we need to be able to do limit orders, and we need some stop loss activity. When they implant that into that application, I think it's a complete application. Do you agree? Stop loss activity. Give us some of those tools, some limit buying and selling. Let us set our rates. If they can do that with MetaMask, it's off to the races. That's just my opinion, though. But with that being said, you guys have a great one, and we'll catch you later.